Imagine a world where the streets ran red with blood, where the cry for liberty turned into a scream of terror, and where the very people who fought for justice became the tyrants they once despised. This was the French Revolution, not just the glorious uprising we often hear about, but a chilling tale of how noble ideals can twist into something monstrous. It began as a beacon of hope, a fight against oppression, but ended in chaos, betrayal, and rivers of blood. This is the story of the revolution's dark side, a warning from history about what happens when power, fear, and fanaticism take control. In 1789, France was a powder keg ready to explode. The poor starved while the nobility feasted, taxes crushed the common people, and King Louis XVI seemed powerless or unwilling to fix the crumbling system. When the people stormed the Bastille, it was a moment of triumph, the fall of a symbol of royal oppression. But freedom, it turned out, was far more complicated than anyone had imagined. The revolutionaries soon split into factions, each convinced they alone knew the right path forward. The moderate Girondins wanted gradual change, but the radical Jacobin, led by figures like Maximilien Robespierre, demanded total transformation no matter the cost. And the cost was horrifyingly high. The guillotine, a machine designed to make execution quick and painless, became the gruesome symbol of the new France. At first, it was the king and queen who fell beneath its blade. Louis XVI was executed in January 1793, his last words drowned out by the drums of the revolution. Marie Antoinette followed months later, her death met with cheers. But the killing didn't stop there. The revolution, once about justice, became a machine of paranoia and revenge. Robespierre, a man who had once spoken passionately about human rights, now believed terror was the only way to save the revolution. Terror is nothing but justice, prompt, severe, and inflexible, he declared. Under his rule, the Committee of Public Safety launched the Reign of Terror. Laws were passed allowing arrests on mere suspicion. Trials became a mockery. Defendants had no real chance to defend themselves. The accusations were vague. Enemy of the people, counter-revolutionary, traitor to liberty. Neighbors denounced neighbors. Former heroes of the revolution, like Georges Danton, who had helped overthrow the monarchy, were dragged to the guillotine when they dared question the bloodshed. Even the revolutionary journalist Camille Desmoulins, once Robespierre's close friend, was executed after calling for mercy. The streets of Paris became a theater of death. Crowds gathered to watch executions like they were public spectacles. Women knitted as heads rolled. The revolution, which had promised to uplift the common people, now turned on them. Peasants, shopkeepers, even children were caught in the madness. In the provinces, the terror was even worse. Cities, like Lyon and Nantes, saw mass drownings, firing squads, and brutal reprisals against anyone suspected of opposing the new regime. The revolution was supposed to bring liberty, but instead, it brought fear. And then, in a cruel twist of fate, Robespierre himself became a victim of the terror he had created. By mid-1794, even his allies had grown terrified of him. No one was safe. When he stood before the National Convention and vaguely threatened more purges, the other leaders had enough. They turned on him, shouting him down before he could finish speaking. The next day, he was arrested. In a final, desperate act, he tried to shoot himself but only shattered his jaw. Blooded and broken, he was carried to the guillotine the same way his countless victims had been. The crowd that day didn't cheer. They watched in eerie silence as the architect of the terror met his end. The reign of terror died with Robespierre, but the scars remained. The revolution had promised a new world, but it had consumed itself in violence. In the years that followed, France swung from chaos to dictatorship under Napoleon, proving that revolutions don't always end with freedom. Sometimes, they just replace one kind of tyranny with another. So what went wrong? How did a movement that began with such hope descend into such horror? The answer lies in the dangers of absolute certainty. Robespierre and his followers believed so completely in their cause that they saw anyone who disagreed as an enemy to be destroyed. They thought they could force utopia through fear, but terror can never build a just society. The French Revolution taught the world a brutal lesson, that the road to hell is often paved with good intentions. Yet, despite its darkness, the revolution did change history. It ended absolute monarchy in France and inspired movements for democracy across the globe. Its cry of liberty, equality, fraternity still echoes today, but its shadow remains, a warning of what happens when ideals become fanaticism, when justice becomes vengeance, and when the fight for freedom turns into a reign of terror. The French Revolution was both a triumph and a tragedy. It showed the incredible power of the people to rise up and demand change, but also how easily that power can corrupt. It reminds us that freedom must be guarded carefully, not just from kings and tyrants, but from those who claim to act in its name. Because in the end, no revolution soaked in blood can truly claim to be just. So what do you think? Was the terror a necessary evil, or could France have found freedom without so much violence? Could things have turned out differently, or was the bloodshed inevitable? Let us know in the comments, and if you found this story as chilling as we did, don't forget to press the bell button for more untold tales from history's darkest hours.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate the effort behind it, don't forget to like this video. It really helps the channel grow, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Oh, and one more thing, share this video with your friends. Spread the love and support. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Let me know if you want any tweaks.